Welcome back, everybody. I'm I-Team Chief Mike Magnoli. This morning, I've got the third interview in our series of conversations, Justice on the Ballot, where we're talking to folks who are looking for the state attorney's office job. Yes, that's because Dave Aronberg is not seeking re-election. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking to all the folks who want to replace Dave. We've heard from 2 Democrats so far on ARC Florida. Today, it's a Republican's turn to make his case for your vote. Forrest Freedman is up against one other Republican in the August 20th primary. If he wins, it's on to the general election in November. That's when we'll also be voting for president. And Mr. Freedman is a staunch Donald Trump supporter. So he's hoping that the Trump voter is a Freedman voter as well. Let's see some more about Forrest Freedman's background.
Forrest Freedman has practiced law in Florida since 1991. Before moving to Palm Beach County, Freedman served as an assistant district attorney for 4 years in Boston. There, he was a prosecutor in many jury and bench trials, and he indicted violent felons as part of the major offender unit. Now in private practice, Freedman takes on a variety of cases, including criminal and litigation, and he defends clients who are up against the IRS. Talking points from his platform. His slogan, "Tough on crime, tougher on criminals," refers to a handful of policies he'd like to implement. Freedman says if elected as state attorney, he will reduce fines for traffic tickets, and for a first ever minor traffic violation, he says the system should give people a pass. No fine at all. Beyond that, to stop the cycle of crime, he'd like to give first-time offenders in crimes without violence a diversion program, and if completed successfully, record expungement. But for retail theft, repeat shoplifters, he says Democrat prosecutors have been too lenient for too long, and it's hurting business. On the lighter side, Mr. Freedman has embraced that classic movie line, and he's turned it into a campaign shtick. Run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest, run. Mr. Freedman with us live here on the sofa. You know, Mr. Freedman, you might strike some of our viewers as an unconventional candidate in this race. Are you?
I think I'm a little bit unconventional because I am not just an R at the end of the ballot. I'm here to support all of the citizens of Palm Beach County. I don't think running for state attorney should be a political race. The state attorney should be there to protect all of us, Republicans, Democrats, independents, no party affiliates. The only person that the state attorney doesn't represent are those charged with crimes. Our job is to keep Palm Beach County safe, all of Palm Beach County, from Pahokee, Belle Glade, Riviera Beach, Jupiter, Boca, the island, Wellington, and everywhere else in between. I'm here and I'm running because I thought it was necessary to step forward, to leave my baseball coaching career and my private practice, and to give the citizens of Palm Beach County a real choice. We've had 12 years of David Aronberg. He's done a great job in a lot of things. Now it's time for a new set of eyes, a Republican set of eyes, to make improvements on the good things that already have been accomplished, and then fix what needs to be fixed. And I promise to do that for all of you.
Mr. Freedman, I wonder if you think there's too much plea bargaining going on from the state attorney's office. I cover a lot of court cases for CBS 12 News, and I'm thinking of some recent examples. The Killer Clown case, where the defendant was able to plead to second-degree murder. The case up in Martin County, Austin Haroof, the so-called face eater. He, at the last minute, the prosecution accepted his not guilty plea by reason of insanity. And then you had a high-profile child abuse, child neglect case here in Palm Beach County. The Ferreters, the mom in that case was able to take a plea deal. So some folks might think that there's too much wheeling and dealing going on and that these criminals are getting off too easy. What do you make of that?
I think you have a great point, and your question is very good. If you look at it, the state attorney's office handles thousands of cases. And the cases that you point to are the high-profile public cases where the state attorney's office probably shouldn't be making all those plea deals, because you want to prosecute the worst amongst us. You want to give them a trial, and if they're convicted, you want to send them away for a very long time. Our job is to make sure that there are consequences to bad actions. Now, for most of us, the thousands of cases that you don't hear about, then plea bargaining is appropriate, because otherwise you'd have to hire thousands more judges.
Sure.
Because the reality is there's just so many cases.
The caseload is too heavy. Where are you on the death penalty, Mr. Freedman?
I'm glad you asked that, because I believe in the death penalty, and I always have. However, and this is a big if, I would never see anybody from my office ask for the death penalty unless we reviewed that case first, and unless we were convinced that there was direct evidence, not just people saying somebody did it, but you had video, you had 100 witnesses, sort of like Nelson Cruz in the Parkland shooting.
Nick Cruz, we've got him up on the screen right there.
Oh,
in that case, the jury decided to spare his life. It wasn't a unanimous decision in the sentencing phase, and so his life was spared. And then they changed the law as a result of that. If that case were in Palm Beach County,
if that case were in Palm Beach County, we would have asked for the death penalty. We would not have compromised on it. And something that you're addressing that we just skipped over is that there are some jurors that have agendas and lie to get on juries. Mm-hmm. And in that particular case, there was a woman who lied and said, oh, I could be fair and impartial on death penalty, but she wasn't.
Yes.
And now we have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to incarcerate somebody who should have been executed. He destroyed 33 families and countless other lives. Mm-hmm. And we're setting the wrong example, whether it's Manson or Cruz, and there's a list of others, okay? Some people cannot be rehabilitated. Some people have to face the ultimate punishment. And it's my job to look at those cases, and where appropriate, we will ask for the death penalty. We will be strenuous. We will look to enforce our juror laws.
Sorry to interrupt you. The producers are telling me I have 1 minute left, so I want to get one more question in here. This is about backing the blue. In your campaign literature, it says that you back the blue. But what are your thoughts if it's a cop that's on the wrong side of the law, sir?
If there's a police officer, and I've been in those cases in Suffolk County and Boston, Massachusetts, when anybody does something wrong, whether you're a police officer, whether you're a judge, whether you're somebody in the state attorney's office or in the schools or anywhere else, if you've done something wrong, you have to face the consequences for your bad decisions. And that's our job. Yeah, there's good and bad in all of us, okay? But that doesn't mean we throw the baby out with the bathwater. We all have to back the blue. And I believe I have some innovative programs that we will be encouraged to work with law enforcement, as opposed to thinking that they're not working for us.
All right, good luck in your primary. Forrest Freedman, thanks for coming on ARC. We'll be right back.